I met Glen when I was 21 years old. I was a dancer at Radio City Music Hall in New York. He was 44 and I was 21. So I called up my dad and I said, Dad, I met this guy that's 22 years older than me. He's been married 3 times and he has 5 children. And he said, well, who is he? Very skeptically. I said, it's Glen Campbell. And he said, Glen Campbell, the entertainer? And I said, yes. And he said, it's fine. It's just fine. So I started dating him. We just fell in love immediately. We had a beautiful life together. Had 3 children. Raised them all in Phoenix. And I had noticed that Glen had started some odd behavior. First of all, he started forgetting some lyrics to some of the songs he'd sung thousands of times. And he was becoming very OCD, obsessive compulsive about how to hang up washcloths or how to park the cars in the driveway. Everything had to be at the perfect angle. And if it wasn't, he would get everyone's car keys and go move them himself. Because these things were a little odd, we decided to go to a neurologist, and they ran some tests on Glen, and they gave us a diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment. The doctor said, just bring him back every year, and we'll watch it and see what happens. And, I had to tell our children, I had to sit down with our business manager and his tour manager and the record company and the producers and all the people on our team, the musical directors, because we were all set to go out and do this tour. But I was really surprised that he gently just accepted it. So I decided, before we went out to do this tour, I'd better go take him back to the doctor again. Then we went back to Dr. Cohen's office and he sat us down and he used the A word this time, Alzheimer's. And that was absolutely shocking and devastating to me. When we talked about it, what are we going to do? You've got this diagnosis. Glen said, well, I feel fine. I'm going to go out and do my tour. I said, well, honey, what happens if you do something weird on stage? If you forget the lyrics or you sing the same song twice in a row, or if something just happens, what do we do? He said, I'll just tell him I got Alzheimer's. So we're like, oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. So we went out for our first show, and I think it was in Mississippi. And I was as nervous as could be because I thought, maybe no one will come. Maybe when they hear he's got Alzheimer's disease, they'll think it's too depressing. Maybe they won't want to remember him like that. They'll want to remember him at his peak, at his prime, And he got a standing ovation just for walking on stage. And it was standing O after standing O. People just cheered, and they came out to root for him. He was like Rocky with a guitar. They just wanted to support him and love him, and it was such a blessing. And when Glen walked off that stage the first night, he was just beaming. He was just so happy and so blessed.
The man that loved you till the end.
His decline was pretty rapid after that. Now today, Glen has got complete aphasia. He doesn't understand a word anyone says to him. He can still say short sentences like, I love you, or he might say, where you been? But those are more automatic phrases, things that you say to people without even thinking about. To carry on a conversation is absolutely impossible. But Glen is very content and very happy. And it's still hard on me. I still suffer depression. But I did start the blog and lifestyle guide. I just launched it. It's called careliving.org. And my hope is that it encourages caregivers. It provides information, resources, and inspiration. Because it is a really tough journey. And you definitely need inspiration and support. Thank you.